From latte sipping softies to this.
Oh, still a Sandy. Fitzgibbon, hell of a tackle.
Oh, look at that tackle.
The toughest and most threatening club side in rugby league.
Craig Wingers in to score.
NRL premiers. Undisputed world champions. And tonight, the 2003 theatrics begin. The new force of our game. So elegant, so slick, and so damn determined to tough it out all over again.
And another thing I'm discovering lately, I'm a bit crazy for my Friday night league.
Play of the day. Oh, this is sensational.
There's nothing like watching Friday night football.
What a tackle.
It's what I live for at the end of my week.
The Sydney Roosters versus the Parramatta Eels, right here on Nine's Friday Night Football.
What a game of rugby league.
Roosters fans had plenty to crow about last season, and tonight they have turned up in good numbers to be a part of the opening crowd in this year's National Rugby League competition. Good evening and thanks for joining us for our first Friday night coverage, and what a way to kick the season off with the reigning premiers, the Sydney Roosters, taking on another premiership heavyweight in the Parramatta Eels. Tense time for both teams, of course, players realising that all the hard off-season training now has to be put into action. And the Roosters shed, you can see Ricky Stewart laying down the law to his players. They set a tremendous defensive platform last year. He'll be looking for more of the same. Tonight, a very strong lineup, and they line up this way. A back three of Anthony Minicello at fullback. He's adapted well to the number 1 jersey. Ryan Cross comes in for the injured Todd Byrne. Shannon Hegarty on the other wing. In the centres, the Mr. Everywhere man, Chris Flannery, lines up alongside the up-and-comer, Justin Hodges. At 5'8", Brad Fittler, as usual, captains the side. And in number 7, Brett Finch, their big signing from the off-season, formerly from Canberra. It's a mobile front row. Luke Ricketson locks the scrum. Big Englishman Adrian Morley and Craig Fitzgibbon. And a front three of Jason Kalis. Ian Henderson comes in for the injured Craig Wing. He's out with an ankle problem. And Peter Cusack. And on the bench, plenty of size here with Payer and Todd Payton. He's also formerly from Canberra. And Robinson and Crocker make up the 17. Their coach, Ricky Stewart. Parramatta, of course, did have injury problems last year. But I think it's fair to say that, apart from Daniel Wagon, they go in with their strongest lineup tonight. And this is their 17. Plenty of speed in their back three with Brett Hodgson at fullback. The Flyers, Luke Burt and Jason Moody out on the flanks. In the centres, it's a welcome return to one of their best. Jamie Lyon missed most of last season with injury. David Violecki, the other centre. In the halves, a reuniting of the former Cronulla pairing in the mid-90s. Adam Dykes at 5'8", Paul Green in the number 7 jersey. And then the front six look this way with Dean Witters at lock. Nathan Hindmarsh in the second row. Lee Hopkins, formerly from Penrith, alongside Nathan. And the front three, Nathan Kalis captains the side. Former Newcastle utility John Morris at hooker and Daniel Heckenberg. And on the bench, it is an all-forwards affair with Meads and Crouch. And also Alex Chan and Michael Vella, their coach, Brian Smith. Two very strong lineups there. Of course, Parramatta hoping to get away to a better start than they did last year, where they won only 3 of their first 6. The Roosters about to find out how difficult it is to defend a title. Time now to go to my fellow commentators. It's a very good evening to Paul Vorton and Ray Warren.
Thank you, Peter. The Eels coming out. The start of the season. Kickoff time only seconds away now. Nathan Kalis, their captain. He packs down against brother Jason. Weather 20 degrees. The wind's light to moderate from the southeast. And the chance of a shower maybe later tonight. Paul Green, 4th club after Cronulla, North Queensland and Sydney Roosters. And of course his 2002 season ended 6 minutes into last year on this very ground, 364 days ago. A match that the Roosters went on to win decisively, but it ended tragically for Paul Green, Queensland State of Origin hero. And there he is, hoping to solve the half-back problem at Parramatta. A problem that Jason Taylor managed to solve for 12 months, but one that has been a problem for them since Sterling back in the late 80s. Green, one of 3 players returning from season-ending injuries in the Eels team, and here they are, the Premiers, the Sydney Roosters, led out by Brad Fittler, his 15th season at the top level, 31 years of age, and wants to go on for a couple more years. It's not a big crowd, but it's a great atmosphere, and what an opener. And of course the other man in the number 7 on the other side of the halfway, Brett Finch, 70 first grade games. He started down in Canberra at 17 years of age. And of course him arriving at Bondi Junction saw the departure of Paul Green to Parramatta. Bill Harrigan, 370 first grade games. He is the senior man in the game, and he's got the number 1 game to start the Telstra Premiership this year. Roosters running towards the Sydney Cricket Ground end. They're guarding the Paddington end. And there he is, the Churchill medalist Fitzgibbon, starting season 2003. And it is the Roosters up in defence, right up in their face, hitting the Parramatta captain, who wasn't happy. He got up and brushed away Ricketson. Played back to Morris now, his first touch in the new colours, to his own 20-metre line. And now this is Hopkins from Penrith to Parramatta. We saw him in the 7s. He's bulked up. He's done a Brad Drew, really. And there's a big hit again from the Roosters on the Parramatta number 10. Daniel Heckenberg feeling Adrian Morley's impact. And the Eels now, they try to clear. Just outside 30, Minicello brought a groan from the crowd. 7 metres from halfway, Fitzgibbon, a dummy half scurry, carries him into Parramatta territory by a matter of centimetres. Hodges stands, looks to unload. Hindmarsh cleans him up over the top, and Hopkins was underneath. And now the number 8 for the Roosters is Jason Kalis, wearing almost the Willie Mason haircut. 30-metre line, centre ground, right in the middle of the Telstra sign, who sponsor again this competition. Fettler's kick high and angled across. Of course, some problems over there for the Parramatta left flanker, Luke Burt. Not sure whether to take it or let it go. Hindmarsh now, and it's covered by defence.
No surprise that the Roosters have come out 100 miles an hour in defence, and important for Parramatta in these opening stages to match them in that department.
Hindmarsh, his brother now out of the Eels club, and he's with Canberra. One of a few players that have made the journey to the nation's capital. Kalis is wearing the 8, as Jason is on the other side of the equation. And the penalty goes to Parramatta.
It's been very strong defence by the Roosters, as we saw last year on this occasion, laying around too long in the tackle. But this is the 5th tackle. It would have been the 2nd time in minutes that Parramatta would have had to kick from inside their own 30-metre zone.
There's been no greater talking point in the game to do with on-field affairs than the gang tackling of Sydney Roosters. It will attract the attention of referees, there's no doubt. And here's Morris now, as Parramatta see the other side of the halfway for the first time. Widders in number 13. Wagon's not in the team tonight, he's out injured. And then a dummy from Dykes, and he comes back to the open side. He crabs across the ground. He finds a flat runner. The captain's under the bar. It's the first try of the season to Captain Nathan Kalis for Parramatta. Oh, Dykes. He had injury problems when he came from Cronulla last year, but he has done superbly and put his captain under the dot at the Moore Park Road end of the ground.
And a beautiful flat pass here from Adam Dykes. Goes behind one of his players, and Nathan Kalis runs into the gap. Missed tackle from Finch, and what about the left foot step? Big Nathan Kalis, the Kiwi captain, already 18 tests under his belt. Great start to the season, leading the way.
Beautiful ball play by Adam Dykes. He just drifted across the field looking for runners, and that Roosters defensive line was just a little staggered on that occasion, and Kayla simply ran to a hole. That's a big start. First time down in the Roosters danger zone. They've come up with 4 points.
And as you pointed out, Paul, a penalty on the last tackle. And in the next set of 6, Parramatta have been able to take advantage of that good field position to post the first points. Brett Hodgson. It's a fair record, isn't it? Only 6 goals missed in 43 attempts last season. That's a high percentage.
So the first try of the season to the New Zealand captain on 2 occasions, Nathan Kaylis. And now Brett Hodgson from right in front to complete the 6 for the Eels. And there it is. We are going to a break. Brian Smith in his 16th season as coach in first grade. He's happy. It is 6-0 the Eels. Fitzgibbon takes us into the next stage of this game. A sensational start for the Eels. They were copping a pummeling down this end of the ground. Regarding the cricket ground end of the Aussie Stadium, as Widders is upended and put away by Jason Kaylis and Fitzgibbon and Flannery. And here's Hindmarsh losing his footing, it appeared, just inside the 20-metre line.
And Ray, if that fast-moving defence continues, I think maybe Adam Dykes should look at kicking early in the tackle count, maybe 3 or 4, just to take a bit of the wind out of the sails. And there's John Morris doing that, not waiting for the last, picking up good metres and also picking up touch.
Well, where did he kick from? I think you'll find it might be a 40-20.
Well, he kicks inside the 30, but I think it'll be outside at the other end. Goes at right angles.
Yeah, you're right, Pete. So the new SMS competition and your chance to win $1,000. All you have to do is name the player Phil Gould will select as the most valuable in tonight's game. You SMS the full name of your selection to 0428 123 999. It's the number on your screen now. Entries close midnight tonight. The winner will be announced in the Sunday Footy Show.
I guess we should point out, as good metres made there by the Roosters, Gus's MVP won't necessarily be our man of the match, as Justin Hodgins tackled 45 out from his own line.
Henderson in 19. Jersey Flegg, grand finalist last year, in the side for Craig Wing. A late withdrawal penalty goes to the Roosters.
Yeah, once again an infringement in that in the tackle. Paul Green down below, Hindmarsh over the top, and Green held onto the leg, pulled it back.
Finch finding the line deep into Eels territory. This is Cusack.
Got numbers out wide with their back rowers, both Morley and Ricketson, wide to the right-hand side.
So Jason Kaylis, he doesn't need any of them. Jason Kaylis has gone through fragile defence. So it's Kaylis at one end and Kaylis at the other.
That's a Kaylis-a-thon. This is a great run, just straight and hard. It's a one-on-one missed tackle. It's Heckenberg, a nice little in and away by the big prop forward. He charged onto that one. Hodgson did his best. It was no match to the rampaging prop forward. Good hit back by the Roosters.
And that has got to go into the record book, surely. I couldn't imagine there'd be another first-grade game where the first 2 try scorers for different sides would be brothers. Nathan Kaylis, he broke into Test football last year. Played 1 Test. Paul Green pointing to Heckenberg. He's yours. But it was just a clean miss. And Jason Kaylis again takes advantage of another penalty.
First career try for Jason Kaylis. So it's not only a big night for the Kaylis family, it's an even bigger night for Jason. That's his first career try. Anything you can do, I can do better. Might well be the caption. Craig Fitzgibbon from close proximity. Andrew, you take it.
And Craig Fitzgibbon from right in front. There's the extra 2. We now have a 6-all scoreline. And Jason Kaylis, you talk about your most improved players in the game. If you said this time last year, Nathan Kaylis, in all fairness to Jason, compared to Nathan, you would say is streets behind his brother. Now I'm not so sure. Jason's a grand final winner. That's something Nathan doesn't have. And now they've got to try each to start season 2003.
Wonderful moment. As the Eels now kick off deep. At 6-all, it comes down to the number 6, Fittler. And it's back to the try scorer, Kalis. 10 metres out from their own line. Here's Flannery with a run. Missed to fix it. He can play anywhere, young Flannery. Fitzgibbon to the 20-metre line now. Cusack. Young Henderson doing the job for Craig Wing, as I pointed out. Craig pulled out of the side later today. And here's Luke Burt with some clean-up work to do back on his 20-metre line. And here's the Roosters defence. It's down there. They pick him up and they force him back down. Strong defence, Ricketson and Finch. Violecki on the end of similar punishment. Hodgson.
A high shot there from Adrian Morley could have led to some trouble if he'd connected properly. As Hopkins goes across field, runs into the shoulder of Kalis.
Parramatta inside their own 40-metre line. As Green puts a little kick out wide. And it is with the Roosters, 10 metres on their side of halfway. This is Minicello.
Well, I think a kick like that is only a good one if it works. It's a brave attempt. Now. Sorry, Ray, but you're just giving away football in good field position unless you get the ball back.
So the Roosters. Here's Fittler. Fittler's inside the 20. One to beat. Turns it back on the inside. They're in again. Minicello, is it?
It is.
Minicello has scored after Fittler has threaded his way through again. Flimsy Parramatta defence.
Really poor defence, and Anthony Minicello, their leading try scorer from last season, gets his first. Just a simple reverse play. Arm grabbing there. Brett Hodgson. Well, he was lining up Brad Fittler. But Fittler knew that he only had to draw and pass, and that's what he did well. Simple change in direction. And a simple missed tackle. That time it was Paul Green.
Yes, Pete, and I do feel as though the Roosters are targeting Paul Green. They're looking for him in the defensive line. He did play for the Roosters for a little while. Maybe they see him as a weakness, but they've run at him quite a few times tonight. On that occasion, just not up to the task, the little fellow. He's finding his way back into rugby league after a year out. And a great run by Brad Fittler.
Hasn't it been a good decision from Ricky Stewart to play that man at fullback? Luke Phillips out for an extended period. You'd have thought maybe Chris Flannery, who's had more experience. But Minicello, he was outstanding in the World Club Challenge game. And he's continuing on that kind of form.
So Fitzgibbon with the attempt at conversion again from right in front. The try scored by Anthony Minicello. And the Roosters surge to the lead now. It is 12-6. 13 minutes of the game gone almost. 12-6 the Roosters over the Eels. The Eels then with the job of restarting, and again they go deep down into that northeastern corner where Hegarty gets his first touch of the game. So the Roosters using Jason Kalis on play number 2. They lose the ball. And the referee picking up a knock-on. So the scrum will go down 20 metres away from the Roosters line. Lost there by the Roosters, and then they were able to get back possession. No advantage applying to Parramatta. But a very good chance here for the Eels to strike back. 3 tries scored in the game. The Parramatta side first in. And now here they are, drifting across the ground one more time with their fullback. Hodgson tackled 20 metres out. In fact, it's Dykes. Now Violecki trying to stand Minicello up and beat him. I thought he should have played the ball there, but Harrigan said play on. Hopkins, it was a dummy half. This is Heckenberg. Daniel Heckenberg. Just inside the 10-metre line, play in the centre of the ground. Green, a long ball around the back to Dykes. Dykes to win it, as opposed to ground. Henderson comes away with it for the Roosters. The defending premier's off the hook.
Yeah, that was really telegraphed, that short ball there from Dykes, and the Roosters defence, which is setting the platform once again for all defences this year, was waiting for it, and the loose ball.
Henderson taking the ball to the defensive line and then passing and putting Hegarty under extreme pressure. This is Cusack. Just short of the 40-metre line. Sloppy played the ball back for Fittler. Fittler with a big right foot kick. And down it goes to Hodgson, who came away from his own 20-metre line and then picked up and again carried back. 17 goes on for Parramatta. That is their test prop forward, Michael Vella. Now Moody.
He really needs to stand up and be counted, Michael Vella. I know he had injuries last year, but I thought he was very disappointing, and now we've got a mistake against the Blue and Golds. 30 out from their own line. Simple drop ball from Jason Moody in the play the ball area.
Nathan Kalis back on the bench at the moment, with Michael Vella taking his place. And talking of Nathan, of course, New Zealand, we will televise that match on Sunday. A big one too at the start of the season. Warriors versus Newcastle. Here's Finch on a run-around mission with Fittler. And Finch playing the ball on the 30-metre line. Parramatta's end of the park. That's Morley. And 18 is Ryan Cross. He had an early departure from last year's competition. Again, a season-ending injury. I think it was against Melbourne. Here's Ricketson. And no dummy half. Henderson late getting there. Finch went in, did the job well. Fittler gave it away. Oh, Fitzgibbon. He took it flat. He was unprotected, and Morris hit him hard. Now for Finch again. 12 metres out. The kick is bad. It's gone backwards. Parramatta trying to get a kick on it. The ball loose. Cross watches it, and Burt picks it up for Parramatta. So Luke Burt to play the ball on his own 20-metre line. No dummy half, but it's a penalty for Parramatta.
Yeah, he got him for not standing right in front. He had him standing at the side of the play the ball, and he's got it right, Bill Harrigan.
So Parramatta taking the kick for line from just outside their 20-metre point. Let's go to Andrew. He's on the sideline.
And Ray, it should come as no surprise that Nathan Kalis was the first player replaced tonight. He was really doing it tough over the last 3 or 4 minutes while he was on the field. Wasn't quite in position when Fittler made the bust for the Minicello try. Nathan Kalis coming into tonight without a trial match under his belt.
Here's Green. And an effective tackle by Fitzgibbon. Now Dykes for Widders. He's been in very good form, apparently. We saw him in the sevens playing very well, but I know Coach Smith has been most impressed with Alina Dean Widders. Oh, Nathan Hindmarsh. They didn't take him past the horizontal. They dropped him straight on his face as Dykes puts this left-footed kick in. Oh, Hegarty. That was almost artistic back in that corner. And Hegarty plays it on his 10-metre line, tackled by Morris.
The Eels must come up better with their kicking game. A couple of simple catches for Shannon Hegarty. We see Todd Payton about to come into the action. And somehow Parramatta have to get their two big guns in attack, Jamie Lyon and Nathan Hindmarsh, into the action. Hodges across field.
Almost through after the dummy, but Violecki hanging on. As the Roosters number 15, Todd Payton, takes that play out, and now to another former Raider, Finch, kicking over to Jason Moody. And there's that wide defence of Sydney Roosters, led by Flannery, making the tackle. Here's Jamie Lyon. So many of these players, as I pointed out earlier, on the comeback trail after damaging injuries. Widders playing it. And Heckenberg did well for a big man. He had to stop and go back. A groan for a high tackle, but he fell into it. Morris then, and Hodgson is pulled down 20 metres out from the line. Was there a knock on there? Yes, there was a knock on.
He's got
against Jamie Lyon.
Another very poor play the ball. And we've got an injured player down for the Roosters, making that tackle there. Flannery might have copped a knee around the rib area.
Crocker getting ready to come into the game. He will probably go to acting half. Here is Finch.
Yeah, they've taken Chris Flannery just to the sideline there. The trainer is with him. He's keen to stay on.
Morley now. For Fittler to clear. And that big boot of his sending it down to Hodgson, who's coming away from the 20-metre line. And Fitzgibbon makes the tackle. But the ball carrier lost his footing as he came to the defence line. This is Moody. Now Paul Green turning it back for Vella. Vella held around the legs there by Payton. And here's John Morris with just a little run out of dummy half before handing it on to Heckenberg. 12-6 the score as Morris reefs it down. It's taken on the full by Minicello.
With all due respect to Anthony Minicello, I thought early in his career, if he had one weakness, it was sometimes he could drop a simple ball. I cannot remember the last time one went to ground.
Fitzgibbon with good meters there. It was a struggling run as Ricketson chimes in now and takes it to the short side. And the sound of that whistle. And they've come up with the boot, Parramatta. And Harrigan's come up with a penalty for the Roosters. And there's the infringement by Widders. So the Roosters will find touch down near the 20-metre line. Parramatta's number 16, Alex Chan, is about to come into the game. The penalties are level. And the scoreboard with the Roosters at 12-6. 2 converted tries against Parramatta's 1 converted try, which was the first scored in the match tonight by Nathan Kalis. Payton plays it. Then it's gone away from Michael Croker across for Jason Kalis, and now Croker again. And it's back with Minicello. A handoff then for Payton. That pass of his may have well gone forward. It makes no difference. Parramatta has grabbed the advantage from it through Jamie Lyon. And here's Michael Vella. Punch up in back play. 1 Rooster. And 4 of the Eels. And the Roosters going in from the outskirts of the park now to help out.
And the man throwing the most punches was Jamie Lyon. Right out of character. As you point out, the Roosters player was certainly outnumbered. There's always been a little bit of feeling between these clubs. So a few players have gone to and fro. Chad Robinson, Jason Kalis has gone across, Dean Widders the other way, Paul Green. And there's Lyon taking the football forward.
He must get upset by something in there. There's 3 Roosters in there. There's an accidental head clash. As they get up, then Jamie Lyon, he thinks he's in the pub at Wee War on a Friday night. At about midnight.
Okay. Flannery, Haggerty. Brad, Flannery, Haggerty. Flannery, Haggerty. Let's make this quick. Listen to this report. Yep.
Mate, what we've got is the case that each guy was getting fairly heavily pounded. These 2 ran a distance to get involved.
Don't come running, because as soon as you run in, you grab one of their blokes, they get another bloke grab you, I get an all-in brawl. Otherwise, it stays one-on-one. All right? Okay, listen to this one. Nice and quick. Quick, mate. Yep.
Yeah, mate, we had an incident here where both players were holding jumpers. First punch was thrown by Craig.
Okay. Penalties against you. Just come down, all right?
Well, something obviously upset Jamie Lyon to the point that he's got the penalty anyway. Phil Harrigan talking to the outside backs from the Sydney Roosters for coming from a long way away to get involved. Parramatta taking the tap almost on the halfway line, and this is Vella. 12-6 the score as Morris links up with Widders. Now to the open side for Alex Chan. Green through to Dykes. Now it's Hopkins out wide. Bielecki running around behind Alex Chan. Harrigan had a full view of it. Morris then on the last. Through for Green. Jamie Lyon may have been in front of the kicker. Battered down by Parramatta. Fittler's got the ball. And now Flannery.
Yeah, the Parramatta kicking game just has not been on song tonight. The last 3 kicks before that one found Roosters players on the full, and that one was quite ineffective. Despite a tap back, little or no Parramatta support there as the Roosters rock it out through Crocker.
Just inside 17 minutes of the first half to go. And quick hands by the Roosters, getting it over to the left side. Hegarty steps and beats Witters. Flick passes back to Minicello.
Great tackle. Alex Chan over there in cover on Minicello.
Fittler now. Oh, a clash of bodies. And Brett Finch was on the end of it. It's a penalty where the ball lands for a late tackle.
There's Lee Hopkins who comes in and turns his back. I think it's John Morris.
Just moved straight into him, and Craig Fitzgibbon from 32 metres out. Almost a gift, 2 points. He's such a good goal kicker. He's been good, actually, John Morris. New buy for them from Newcastle. He's been pretty handy out of dummy half. He's run probably 8 or 9 occasions, created a little bit of havoc. Just needs a bit more support there.
Breeze picking up a little bit here at the Aussie Stadium. He is all of 35 metres out, but as Paul pointed out, he is right in front. 2 from 2 so far for Fitzgibbon. And there it goes. It's on line. It's got the length. And a further 2 points to the Roosters. They lead the Eels 14-6. With 15 minutes of the first half to go. So a little buffer there now for the Roosters. 8 points the ball game. And Parramatta adopting the same tactics. Sending it deep down into that northeastern corner.
That's Chad Robinson into the action for the Roosters, and for Parramatta, the number 15, Stephen Crouch. Both coaches using their interchange bench fairly freely as we get towards the latter part of this first half.
Well, Fitzgibbon looks to have picked up where he left off last year. He really rolls his sleeves up and gets involved. He's an absolute workaholic. Here's Robinson. Here's Fitzy on camera now.
His work rate already so far in this first half, 25 minutes into it. It's a charge down.
What a freaky piece of football from Nathan Hindmarsh. It was a charge down on a Fittler bullet, and he came up with it. Chance for the Eels now. Dykes passes away. It's Hopkins. Hopkins beats Morley. Hopkins goes back looking for the middle. And Harrigan has blown the whistle. He's been playing an advantage.
There was a great effort there from Nathan Hindmarsh, but also the try-saving tackle from Minicello. Great speed and strength. A decision now to be made by Parramatta. Do they take the 2 points and get back to a converted try behind, or keep the pressure on?
Have a look at this. Hindmarsh, was he charging down or taking protection? And he couldn't get a pass away. And there's the tackle Peter's talking about from Minicello.
Yeah, well, he had to turn and chase. Hindmarsh, as we know, is probably one of the quickest forwards in the game today. He had about 3 or 4 metres head start, but Minicello cut him down. And then you can see Harrigan's got the Roosters players out wide, pinged right under the sticks. Hodgson, an easy attempt from right in front.
He does that really well, Bill Harrigan. Plays advantage, and the players appreciate it.
So Brett Hodgson from right in front, Andrew sideline.
Ray, the decision to go for goal 2 wasn't made by the players instantaneously on the field. It was the decision came from the bench. Paul Green turned to the sideline. What are we going to do? Go the 2 was the call.
Hodgson From right in front, it's 14-8. And the coach, Brian Smith, looking to redeem themselves from the disappointments of last year. They under-delivered, the Eels, according to the expectation of the fans. Nathan Hindmarsh with a full head of hair. It seems that the Hindmarshes and the Kalises and the Masons have dictated that that's the way to go these days. Stirlo.
Don't be cruel.
It's
a little sneaky.
Just looking for a comment. Fitzgibbon now.
Only difference, Ray, they've got a choice.
And here is Michael Vella, cast in the opposite mould. Chan. Outside the 20-metre line, and who's underneath him?
I was about to mention Craig Fitzgibbon's work rate. So for 12 tackles, 8 hit-ups, it's the best by any player on the field.
Green. Got away initially from Morley. Morley had a second dip at him. Now Dykes. And that has given Minicello a long, long run back to his own in goal. Dykes missing him with that tackle. He beats another. That was Morris. And eventually Burt is there with Nathan Kalis, or David Violecki it is, to make the tackle. Ryan Cross. 14-8. And 11 minutes of the first half remaining here at Aussie Stadium, the opening match of the Telstra Premiership for 2003. Fitzgibbon, straight and hard. Roosters quoted at $5.50 to win the grand final. Parramatta quoted at $7 even. Betting on tonight's match, $1.57 the Roosters, $2.25 the Eels. Another charge down, and this one goes over the sideline. And the referee Bill Harrigan will pack a scrum 35 metres out from the Roosters line. A 6-point ball game. Nathan Kalis scored that memorable try, the first of the season. And then the Roosters hit back with Jason Kalis at the other end of the park. I would imagine a touch of rugby league history. Even the guru is scratching his head even now. Here's Hodges using Cross. Cross with little room to work, throws the flick pass. The ball is there for Morley. He was outnumbered. He finished up with the football. And Finch is able to unload. Crocker. And he's hit hard over the top as he went to ground by Vella. Hodges. Drifting. Across. Fitness straight and hard. Fitzgibbon with numbers on his outside. Doesn't want them. Fitzgibbon! Craig has scored. Capping a magnificent first half.
And they were lining up. There were 4 on the outside of Craig Fitzgibbon. This was incredible work on this side of the field. Ryan Cross, he was going to end up in the first row of the grandstand. Knew he had to get the ball back inside. Hodges kicked it across. Morley got it. And there you can see plenty of numbers on the outside. Parramatta coming in. Jason Moody couldn't make the tackle on Fitzgibbon. Flannery's there. Minicello, Hegarty, don't worry about them. Fitzgibbon scores.
This is wonderful play by the Roosters. It's like the grand final happened a week ago. We saw them in the World Club Challenge. They kept it going then. They kept it going again tonight. Great hole hitting there by Brad Fittler. Just running straight and hard through the gap. And then the pass is on top of that. Beautiful stuff. And Craig Fitzgibbon on the outside of Moody. They've got 3 or 4 on one. And Brett Hodgson was 1,000 to 1.
The Roosters are renowned for their dummy half running, but we don't get enough credit for the dummy half having good vision to hit that short man. That time it was Justin Hodges going across to pick up his captain. But it could have been Hegarty, it could have been Flannery. We're all very aware of picking up metres from dummy half, but also getting the ball to a man on the burst.
Captain Brad Fittler. I mentioned earlier it's his 15th season in the top grade. 31 years of age. He's hitting the line. He's a real line breaker. And that big boot of his. And here's Fitzgibbon kicking for 23 straight. It's a magnificent record. He's got 22 straight. He's going for 23 here from 10 in and 23 out. Try scorer Fitzgibbon. Hits it. It is getting... It's away. No goal. That'll be a little bit of a monkey off the back, I suspect. 18-8. Parramatta. Fettler using Robinson. Crocker in 17. Payton. 32 metres out from his own line. And Finch gets into dummy half, and that kick is so handy. Hodson's been turned around. It's allowed the defence a mile of time, and Big Morley is there. Great chase by the second row forward. He's some kind of an athlete.
Gee, I can't understand why Luke Burt didn't throw the ball to David Bielecki on that occasion. Unmarked, and there was 20 metres to the next defender.
There's Nathan Hindmarsh. Tackled on his own 20-metre line. Parramatta with Andrew Meads on in jumper number 14. Nathan Hindmarsh giving on for Paul Green. Right foot kick. Heading towards the western touchline, and he finds it. Just again outside the 20-metre line. 3 tries in the game to the Roosters. 3 goals for Fitzgibbon. He got one of the tries. 6 3/4 minutes to go, first half.
Ray, you're talking about Brad Fittler just after that last try. 15 seasons in grade football. I wonder how many players who play that long win a premiership so early in their career and then get one so late. Yeah, Freddie might have 1 or 2 seasons left, you'd imagine, in the Australian competition. Got one as a kid, got one as an experienced old hand.
Yes, he waited just a bit beyond a decade for his second premiership. I don't know the time will let him wait another decade. He'd like to get another one here in 2003. Although they're becoming more elusive. Back-to-back premierships. I think only 3 clubs have done it in the last 3 decades. Brett Hodgson bringing the ball back and giving it to Luke Burt. And then Morley is down there. He's a big man, Morley, and he's able to cover ground very quickly. Very handy in the kick chase department. Bielecki plays it on his 40-metre line. That's Andrew Meads. Now Nathan Hindmarsh. And they hit him bottom and top. Crocker and Morley. Meads with a fend. And he's pulled down by Ricketson. 4th tackle gone. And Burt running 22 metres inside that western touchline, and Green puts his kick into that corner. It doesn't put any pressure on Hegarty. He hasn't really had any pressure on him at all, Shannon, down in that bottom corner. There's been no crowding, no discomfort at all.
Well, I think that's the first thing that Coach Brian Smith will address at half-time is Parramatta's poor kicking game. They just keep finding the Roosters in space. Hasn't been the best.
Fitzgibbon now striding out and getting it over the halfway line. And Jamie Lyon has come up with the football.
Yeah, Jamie Lyons, he stripped the ball one-on-one. Bill Harrigan asked the touch judge, did it go forward? I think Lyon will definitely think that it went back as he pulled it out. There it is. I think that's play on.
Well, let's watch it from this angle.
I don't think it comes off his knee if he's prepared to play that, although Paul's just made a very good point.
Yeah, I think isn't there the rule, once there's been 2 in the tackle, you can't refit out anyway. So it could have possibly been a penalty.
Well, leaving that out of the equation, it did appear that it came off the knee of Jamie Lyon, and Brian Smith, the coach, would have seen an inquisitive look on his face as Harrigan distributes orders at the scrum. Scrum, in fact, screwing quite noticeably, and then it's kicked out of the hands of Brett Finch. That is smart scrummaging by Parramatta. If you can get away with it. Ball is out of the scrum, in the halfback's hands, and then it's kicked out. Well, I believe the prop forward is Nathan Hindmarsh. Now there's a problem. Luke Ricketson is immediately called to the referee for timeout.
Well, this is a fairly innocuous tackle that Hindmarsh went down in. Wondering if his knees buckle or his ankle. Oh, his right ankle has been severely twisted. And a bit of pressure put on the ligaments.
And you can hear Brett Finch questioning Bill Harrigan about the ball being kicked after the scrum was won.
And the Parramatta trainer has just called for a stretcher to be brought out.
I'm wondering whether Brett Finch was asking the question about indiscriminate kicking.
Yeah, I don't think he can kick like that, Ray. They got away with it, but...
So Nathan Hindmarsh presents a sorry sight on the opening night. Nathan Hindmarsh taken off 3 minutes from half-time. Yeah. I might be wrong, but I fancy Brett Finch was asking about indiscriminate kicking with the ball out of the scrum and in his hands.
Well, that's poor play there. Sorry, Ray, from Andrew Meads. Last tackle, didn't know. Just handed the football over after 6.
One, two up, go back to me and hold here. Hold, no.
So Ryan Cross, he's lost the ball. And that will balance up the equation a little bit. The events of the last couple of tackles.
He lost the ball courtesy of Nathan Kalis's left hand. And Bill Harrigan was concentrating on something else. He missed that, so did the touch judge. So get the jail free card there for the Eels, attacking now 30 metres out. What have they got?
Dykes finding Hodgson, but Fittler and Minicello, they read the play very well, then they dominated in the tackle. You heard Harrigan call that out. And now Parramatta with Stephen Crouch, Meads, Dean Winners, Fitzgibbon's onto him. So is Payton. Close to the line and close to half-time. Green, a grabbing kick. Luke Burt wins the race. Luke Burt has run on to a splendid kick by Paul Green. That will be a confidence booster for the 7.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised we haven't seen this earlier. In the trials, they had great success. It was Paul Green to Jamie Lyon on a couple of occasions, but this time a real speedster in Luke Burt has come in. It was deliberate. They'd arranged it before the play, and it was a pinpoint kick because it was far enough away from defenders for Burt to get there first and get a good bounce.
Yeah, this is Paul Green at his very best, this kick. Years ago, it was Paul Green for Andrew Eddinghausen down in the Cronulla way. But Luke Burt on that occasion took advantage of his speed and the open space in front of him. Beautiful kick. And Parramatta strike back just before half-time, and they needed to.
Six points the margin. The scoreboard is not their only worry, though. Nathan Hindmarsh inspected by club doctor Michael Johnston. He's got a right ankle problem.
Yes, Ray, last year Jamie Lyon missed the bulk of the season with a fractured ankle as well.
The face of concern of this young warrior from Parramatta, who would be, imagine, their most valuable player. Hodgson should get it to a 4-point ball game at the break. And there it is. Between the uprights, the flags go up. It is 18-14 at half-time. We'll take a break from Aussie Stadium and back after that with the Holden half-time. The Eels are coming back. They're down by 4 points. Are they indeed coming back on the scoreboard? They did just before half-time. Wonderful kick by the man right of screen, Paul Green. We've been critical of him, as Gus Gould was, but he soon closed our mouths with that pinpoint kick, almost to the goal mouth for Luke Burt. And isn't he a classical finisher? Brad Fittler having a mighty game, but nobody has been better than Craig Fitzgibbon. I'll give you that phone number, that SMS number, I should say, during the second half for Phil Gould's most valuable player on the night. You've got till midnight tonight to file your entry. Chance to win $1,000 thanks to Nutrigrain. And there's the number, 0428 123 999. And all you have to do is agree with Phil Gould, and then if you're the first correct one out, you win $1,000. SMS. So it is Parramatta down by 4, and they've again gone for the big kickoff. They've been bombing the try line with their restarts. And this is Todd Payton now for the Roosters in the early part of the second half. I must admit at one stage I thought the gates might have been going to open, which you have to hold back saying, particularly with the Brian Smith coach team, but there was a period where it looked very dangerous for them. 18-14 then, as the Roosters go to Fittler. He dummies once and then he beats another. Then the pass goes across to Crocker, back to Payton, and instead of kicking they use up another tackle, and they're just beyond the 40-metre line now. Now they go looking for the kick, and Finch sees a gap and he can't get his kick away, and that is the turnover. So it was very good pressure from the Parramatta defence. First Fittler, then Finch, and both have come up empty. And a penalty goes now to the Eels.
Yeah, Bill Harrigan asked the boys to be steady in that tackle. They lifted him.
It was just too high, Brad. His legs were right up here, mate. Well, I'm saying steady, but the way they brought him down, mate, he's up there. It's dangerous.
So Bill Harrigan penalising for lifting above the horizontal in the tackle. And the Eels opting to go for the kick for touch. 5-3 the penalties in favour of the blue and gold. Paul Green not looking for much distance with that penalty. So Alex Chan will play the ball 20 metres away from the Roosters line. Green, it went over his fingertips. Well, I would have thought it went backwards. You know, it's a very tough call by Bill Harrigan. He might be deserving of an apology. It just looked the first time through that it went over the fingertips and maybe went adjacent to Green, but whether it went forward is problematical. It's happened now. The Roosters with the ball. Back on their own 20-metre line. Played back there by Ryan Cross, who's in the team with Todd Byrne out. And Cross over on the right wing in this game. They were expecting tremendous things from him last year before that crippling injury. Here's Fittler, and then rifling the ball into the chest of Flannery. Flannery playing centres tonight. Fittler a dummy half. Finch is the kicker, and he gets it in between the fullback and the winger, and it rolls just over the touchline at the point of the 10-metre line.
Well, Gray, another thing that the Roosters did very well last year was lead and go on to victory. when they were leading at half-time, which they did on 15 occasions. Defeated on one occasion. Well, Parramatta, they didn't chase particularly well. They trailed 11 times and could only come up with one victory. So for this scoreline to turn around, what they did last year has to change this season.
Eels, centre of the ground, 15 away from their own line. Adam Dykes has Dean Witters on his inside, but it's forward.
Bill Harrigan was right in line there. And actually might have got a call from the touch judge. He was through, and then Harrigan pulled it up. Little sneaky inside ball from Adam Dykes to a lively Dean Witters.
No one breaks
I thought it was forward.
You know, fair enough. Fair decision.
And they have used Dean Witters differently there. He's been playing wide on the right-hand side for most of the night. That time he bobbed up on the left.
Here's Fittler, creating havoc for Parramatta, and a penalty goes. It's against the tacklers, and Fittler has opted to take the kick for goal. 9 metres out, right in front.
Yeah, I can hear a few of the Roosters fans booing, but this is good captaincy. It's an easy 2 points early in the second half. Here's that ball again. You can see the angle of the hands. The ball definitely went forward. And he was away Witters, and that flop there from Nathan Kalis. Really, it's uncalled for, and giving away 2 points.
I think this decision from Brad Fittler is a show of respect to the opposition. It shows that he believes this could go right down to the wire.
Might even go down to the golden point.
Yeah, or a field goal to make it a 7-point lead.
What odds that we go into overtime?
Well, they drew last time they met, 12-all last season.
Fitzgibbon has failed with one shot. It brought a 22 consecutive kicks to an end for him. This time he raises the flag for 2 points. It is 20-14, the Roosters over the Eels. 5 tries in the game. 3 to the Roosters, 2 to the Eels. And again, they bomb away down at that corner occupied by Flannery and Hegarty. And the Roosters start their march back up the ground again. Here is Cross. Loads of talent, heaps of speed. And he can't play the ball. Didn't see anything untoward in the tackle. Let's see if this picks it up. Undoubtedly it will. There was a left arm across the face from Nathan Kalis, bouncing up off his own teammate's arm. That was Andrew Meads involved in the tackle as well. So Cross receiving some attention. Nothing said by the referee nor the touch judges. And looking at the replays, it was purely a case of Nathan Kalis coming up with a left arm that bounced up off Andrew Meads. It could only be termed accidental, but Ryan Cross probably doesn't know too much about it. Crocker filling the dummy half role at the moment. And Fittler sending it down for Greg Hodson to bring it back to the 30-metre line. Play on the eastern side. And this is David Violecki. 132 tackles to 127. There's nothing there really. Chan. Played by Meads, and it's kicked on the halfway line by Dykes. The bounce is favourable for Minicello. Again, a kick from Parramatta that didn't really cause any palpitations for the Roosters. They've let people like Minicello and Hegarty come out fairly easily. Here's Fitzgibbon. Premiership winning coach, World Club Challenge winning coach, Ricky Stewart, in his second year up against Brian Smith, who this year is into his 16th season. Burt got one of the Parramatta tries, the other scored by his captain, the first of the game. Violecki now.
2, Marcus, locked in. 2.
Parramatta through Nathan Kalis to the 40-metre line. We go to the sideline, Andrew.
Yeah, Ray, just a further update on Nathan Hindmarsh from the Parramatta medical staff. They fear that he'll be out for at least 6 weeks. He will have an MRI scan tomorrow. Brings interchange into play. Parramatta made 6 changes in the first half. They're down a man, of course, on the bench with Hindmarsh out. The Roosters, meantime, only made 2 changes in the first 40.
So that's damaging news for Parramatta. And shocking news for Nathan Hindmarsh. Minicello. And here is Flannery. Running away from Jason Moody, who did enough to bring him down for Nathan Kalis. Now Fittler, a long ball, trying to get on the outside. Hodges. Oh, he takes the tackle, throws the pass. It was a speculator. Fittler picked it up. And Michael Crocker will play the ball. So they took plenty of risks and finished up with nothing really. Now they finish up with something, and it is the Roosters way down the ground with Ryan Cross, and he turned his back on a support on his inside.
Yeah, it was Adrian Morley who just had an open run to the line.
But here they come again. Minicello, he gets the pass in. It's intercepted.
Widders.
Dean Widders has saved a try, and Ryan Cross, almost certainly after making it possible, has had a brain explosion.
What was he thinking?
Here
Well, in the clear. Adrian Morley is plenty of speed. They wouldn't have caught him, that's for sure. Great wing. Disappointed. Can't believe it.
And you can see Ryan Cross looked at Brett Hodgson, and Hodgson, well, he just said to the man, I'm coming at you. There was no way known he even moved towards Adrian Morley as Parramatta again kicked fairly ordinarily, and Minicello will bring it back to halfway comfortably.
Nathan Kalis retires to the benches again as Hegarty bounces away. Ricketson handles, Hodges fends, and Hodges now circles. Then he straightens, then he steps. He's still going. Hodges 33 out from the line. Spirited run by the Queensland Origin player. Cross. Played by Ryan badly. Crocker got it away to Payton. Payton takes it down to the 20-metre line. Parramatta's defence a little bit flimsy. Ricketson. And a try-saving tackle by Green. Minicello for Finch. And he puts the kick in, and it's back in the field of play. Well done by Crouch. They had them on the ropes. But the Eels have come back.
They are on the rack at the moment, Ray, and they're struggling to get any sort of set of 6 together here, although that's a super run from Luke Burt. Just what they needed.
Ricketson making the tackle. And that's a penalty to the Eels.
And that is very smart play there by Meads. He knew that the Roosters players hadn't marked up properly. They were offside. And he ran straight at them. Got a penalty. There it is. Luke Ricketson never stood up. Then he attempted to make the tackle. And as soon as he touched him, he was offside.
So, this most entertaining game from one end to the other. Now, the Roosters, they have to muscle up. Vella gets it away. Now it's to ground. Green dives on it. It went forward. So the Roosters repel the Eels again.
Inside leg back drop, that's it.
Minicello. Bill Harrigan telling us that the pass was okay.
I don't know whether Shannon thought that was the case.
Fitzgibbon, who had a whale of a first half. Crocker, and now Jason Kalis, 36 metres away from their line. Crocker for the boot of Finch, and it's gone straight to the Parramatta wing. And Luke Burt, who's been dangerous with everything he's done for Parramatta, limited opportunities, but his execution has been great. 8 changes made now by the Eels, and they are 32 metres out from their own line. Here is Vella from a standing start and making ground beyond the 40. A 10-metre gain. Morris goes for a run from dummy half. Now Crocker picks him up. Harrigan says let him down. And Morris plays it back for Green. Now it's with Dean Widders, who saved almost certainly a try at the other end of the park 5 minutes ago. Jamie Lyon spears it away. Green puts a kick in. Down to Minicello. Oh, he lost it. Bill Harrigan has called it a knock-on. Chance here for Parramatta.
Oh,
And
sorry,
the mock.
Anthony. Sorry, mate.
The mock has struck. Sterling first half. I've never seen Minicello drop a ball, Ray.
No, not never. In a long time. Well, not so long now. About 30 seconds. Swirling in the breeze.
Oh, one of your best people.
Do you get a better attacking opportunity than a midfield scrum 10 out?
Let's see what they can make of it. Dykes will play it back to Hodgson. Violecki wants a taste of it. And Violecki will play the ball. One player on the blind side as they go open to Green, and Green got the smack around the nose from Morley. Morris, short ball for Vella. Vella saw the lime on that goal line. Then it's Morris with a dummy and a dive, but he's on his back in goal. Held up in goal.
Yeah, he's been good tonight, John Morris. Very busy around the rucks. Has a little dash here. Dummy. Heckenberg as the decoy. And good Roosters defence, though.
Not such a bad result. They get the scrum again. A rule in rugby league that favours the attacking side. Many disagree with it. Green, oh, nice pick-up by Dykes. The Roosters sliding across to their right side as Hopkins uses Violecki. He's a couple of metres away from the line. Now they come over for Heckenberg. Morris counting numbers, comes open side. Green switches it for Dykes, and Dykes has gone down. He looked like he took a tackle around the neck from Crocker. It's with Green. That is Meads, and again Crocker. Morris again. Now it's come off player after player. And it's gone behind him, says Harrigan, and he gives the Roosters the benefit of the doubt. Minicello. 20 points to 14.
Marcus gets straight.
The Roosters have spent quite a deal of time inside their own 20 in their second half.
And I've got to say, Ray, there was great Roosters defence, but I thought it was a really ineffective set of 6 by Parramatta. Really didn't put any great pressure on. Last tackle now.
That's young Henderson doing well. Cusack to Fittler. Fittler! He's brushed through. He's in space. Brad Fittler puts the kick in. Now the chase is on. There's the bounce. It's come down to Hodges. Finch will score. Brett Finch scores. Well, the old master. He brushed them aside. Running through. Kicking. Hodges leaping. Finch supporting.
As we freeze it there, that is Brad Fittler. And when you have a look at the ring of players around him, it's quite unbelievable. As play continues, he steps inside Paul Green. There was no way known there was anything on. They put good pressure on. The bounce favoured the Roosters' chasers. Hodges did a great job. But realistically, Fittler should have been contained. In fact, it wasn't Green. It was the number 14 Meads.
Yeah, well, when Brad Fittler looked up, there was chasers coming at him, but they hadn't kept their line intact, Parramatta. There was one player who was too slow. That left the gap for Fittler. And Freddie doesn't need an invitation. Fitzgibbon converts.
Fitzgibbon turns the 4 into 6. And Brett Finch celebrates joining the Roosters with a try. Here's a break. We're back on the wide world of sports in a moment.
Stay behind.
Parramatta. Now they go for the shallow restart. The bat down went forward. It's bad luck for them. And they'll come back for a scrum 35 metres away from the Roosters line. And the Roosters will have the feed. The bat down from Jason Moody went forward. And just reflecting on that try of the Roosters, 3 things happened back inside the Roosters 20-metre line that I think are worthy to point out as Parramatta people reflect on their misfortune. 2 tackles by Crocker around the neck. That's the way they appeared. They went. Nothing was said. And then was Flannery onside to pick up a ball that was left lying inside the 10-metre line after it ricocheted from player to player. Hodges with the ball now. It's all past history, 26-14. And it is the Roosters on halfway. Fitzgibbon's pass. It came off Hegarty. It may have travelled forward. And again, they get the benefit of the doubt. Flannery will play the ball just on his own side of halfway. Hegarty gets the pass away. That's young Henderson. And he takes it to ground with the buffer now 12 points in favour of the home side. Hegarty taken down by Heckenberg. Henderson passes, Fittler kicks high down into the northeastern corner. They're underneath at the Eels, and they've got to score a couple of tries and score them quickly. A quarter of the game remaining.
Once again, a strong tackle on Hodgson, this time by Hodges. They are so physical, this Roosters mob. Every tackle they make, they're trying to hurt the opposing players. This one by Hodges. Well, it just gets him around the head. Simple as that.
Yeah, well,
and I'm pretty sure the Harrigan has said to the video referee, have a look at this one.
There's no doubt about it, the tackle is high. And they have been a bit fortunate.
You said you have collected him high, it's come on report.
Admittedly, the 2 tackles from Crocker that I'm talking about were rather innocuous by comparison with that. But I have seen penalties given for lesser events. 26-14, 4 tries to 2. The Roosters in the Premiership opener, wheeling and dealing.
Yeah, well, here's just a straight hit off from a tap move. Once again, the Roosters punishing defence there to meet him, and a drop ball.
Coming up to 19 minutes of this one to go. And the Roosters back onto the attack. Minicello apparently relishing this more freedom that he gets back in the number 1 shirt.
And it may not be in the mentality of the Roosters game at the moment. They like putting sides away, but 12 behind with a quarter to go. Parramatta not too far behind. I don't think they can score 3 times. Maybe Brett Finch, Fittler might think 13-point lead just might break the spirit of the opposition even this far out.
So Fittler goes through the legs. It went back to Hegarty. Hegarty gets it away. Minicello was there. And he's taken down by Hopkins and Violecki. 40 out from the line. Now it's with Finch. He tried to step and beat them. Got a pass back, but Jason Kalis couldn't take it under pressure. And slow to his feet is Lee Hopkins. Widders consumes another tackle. Henderson and Kalis making the joint hit. Now it's Vella, and it's a penalty. It's against the markers. And now here's Paul Green taking a little tap. Were they back the 10 metres? The blue and gold fans are asking the questions. Here's Morris. Meads, a dummy half. Green. Inside ball for Vella. With that arm from Morley.
Yeah, it's another high tackle.
It's gone up around the Adams apple. And the penalty comes from this one.
Now let's just have a look at the set of 6 that the Eels put together here in good attacking position. Somehow they've got to put more pressure on the opposition defence, make them make decisions.
It's almost imperative that they score here, keeping in mind they've got to do it 3 times to win the game. And it's with Dykes, who gives it back for Crouch.
Let go.
And they are right in the middle of the park. Dykes is there, a dummy half. Green is with him. And he beats the tackle of Jason Kalis. Offloads for Michael Vella. And Vella will play the ball. The uprights, as you can see, just a couple of metres ahead. Green puts a little kick in on the outside edge. And it's too deep for Adam Dykes to arrive in time.
Yeah, Paul Green sporting a nice mouse under his left eye there. Nice try again, early in the tackle count. Just too deep, that one.
Cusack. And Jason Kalis now. Ryan Cross taken one-handed by Brett Finch. He could well prove to be the best off-season purchase between 2002 and the current season. And it's a penalty going against Parramatta. So the Roosters will set their sights on putting this game out of reach of Parramatta on this set, which will start down on the 20-metre line. And it is Todd Payton who takes the first play to within 15 metres of the line. And there's Henderson. They go back to the blind. Fitzgibbon knocked down by Parramatta. I fancy it is knocked down by the defending team.
Yeah, it was by Parramatta in desperation defence. Nice little set play there. And if the fullback there had got the ball, Minicello, I think it was try time. Once again, Fitzgibbon heavily involved.
So here is a golden opportunity for the Roosters with Fittler putting the big fend out, but Hopkins was able to pull him down. Hegarty now dances to the right, comes back to the open. Hodges, he will stand and unload, and he does to Cusack, then to Ricketson. Ricketson to Minicello. He puts on a sprint, and Minicello has got the ball away off the ground, I suspect. Flannery puts it over the line, but Bill Harrigan has called for the video.
Ray, I'm not sure whether Anthony Minicello passed this ball or it just comes loose.
My word, he showed some great speed, didn't he, off the mark. It was a great tackle over the top. And the ball somehow just popped up. Hodgson, one-on-one. Fullback on fullback. The tackle's completed there for mine.
It's gone forward. It's a knock-on.
And then it's flipped up there by Hodgson.
If Paul Green knocked on at the other end, then that's a knock-on for mine.
Well, needless to say, it is a freakish incident. Here he is. The ball is lost.
He's lost that forward, and as soon as it touches Brett Hodgson, that constitutes a knock-on.
The ball didn't touch the ground, but it has touched an opposing player. And I would suspect that is what the video referee will rule. Flannery's not so sure. He's done the right thing. He's played the whistle. Gee, it's an interesting one, isn't it?
Well, the video ref's probably trying to work out whether the ball came loose or did Hodgson pull it loose.
I don't think there's any doubt.
No, I don't think there's any doubt either. The ball's definitely come
control.
loose and gone forward, and then Hodgson has had a crack at it.
"14 minutes of the game remaining. And we're at a junction. Waiting for Michael Stone, the video referee, to make his decision. It's no try. And it's a scrum. So there's a knock-on in there.
Fan having a good time.
Bind tight, fellas, bind tight. In.
There's Hopkins.
Let him up now, Luke, quickly, one.
Hodgson and Dykes. Crouch has lost it. Hodges will score. Justin Hodges. He's had a magnificent game. He picks up a try. The Premiers are home.
And the longer the game has gone, the better Justin Hodges has got. He's been the right man in the right place, the right time, crouched. He had a look, and that's what intimidating defence does. Attackers start looking at the defence coming at them, and that's when mistakes occur. And Steve Crouch loses the ball cold. Hodges says, thank you very much.
Yeah, just too many mistakes made tonight by the Eels. They've handed over possession too many times to the Roosters. Stephen Crouch actually has played pretty well since he's been out there for the Eels. On that occasion had a big captain Cook. The ball went loose and Hodges easy. It's been a very good game by the Roosters. Great start for them for the year. A lot of team spirit amongst these boys.
His 18th career try, the youngster who came from the Broncos. He was the centre of that controversy, and he was sent back to the Clydesdales once he'd made it known that he'd signed with the Bondi Junction club. And then he had his problems in State of Origin. That's all behind him. He's the member of a premiership winning team. He's had a great night tonight. And Fitzgibbon from 24 metres out. He's got it on line. He's only missed one tonight. 32 points to 14. The Roosters over the Eels. (32-14) at Aussie Stadium. The sound of the whistle. Body on body.
Stacks on the mill here, but it'll be a double knock-on. It's a great shot put on Anthony Minicello, but unfortunately Parramatta couldn't take advantage. Jason Moody. Well,
yeah, that should be a penalty.
Yeah, it may well be. I think the touch has come in and said that he was in mid-air still.
I think he's going to give it. Yes, that's the way he's gone. Bill Harrigan has copped a tip from his touch judge that the defending fullback was tackled in mid-air. So the Roosters finding the line. I'll give you that SMS competition number in just a moment. Here's Henderson. Oh! Picked up and barreled into the ground by Crouch. Fitzgibbon, though, takes it down the short side. And the 14 is Laleapea. Through Finch, it's gone to Fittler. Oh! Michael Crocker out there was gap running. Fittler put it there. Fittler did his job. And all he had to do was run at the hole and catch the football. So, Gus's most valuable player, you've got to match that, and from Nutrigrain you could win $1,000. And the SMS number is 0428 123 999. Entries close at midnight. And the winner will be announced in the Sunday footy show with Paul Vorton this coming Sunday morning. Go to it, and remember, that might not necessarily be our man of the match. It's Gus's most valuable player that you're voting on or hoping to synchronise with him on. Kalis, 32-14. Dykes looking for the regather. The ball goes backwards, and it's with Minicello. And they've had some incredible luck, the Roosters, with the bounce of this football. Little things that can change the pattern of a game. Many of them tonight have gone with the red, white and blue. Fitzgibbon barreled by Vella, who came in off his blind side. Henderson through to Payton. Payton, a short ball for Cusack. And he's sandwiched there by Vella and Hopkins. Held down by Kalis. Now a run for Ricketson. And the last tackle, as you heard. Finch goes for the drop goal. It looks as though it's wide. It is. Waved down by Bill Harrigan. 32-14.
When you're ready.
Struck it well.
Take it to the middle.
Hooked it a little bit. It was Michael Vella. Tries to make ground up the middle. And John Morris takes play number 2.
As Paul pointed out, he's been a shining light for Parramatta this evening, John Morris. He'll settle into that hooking role very nicely for the Eels, and he's done a fine job in his debut match for them tonight.
So the Eels crossing the halfway. Hopkins made the break. The ball's with Violecki. He's inside the 20-metre line. Back to Stephen Crouch. They run another angle. Dykes to the 20. Back it goes to Hodgson. Ball on the ground. Roosters have got the ball. And a knock-on is ordered by Harrigan. A scrum will go down.
Yeah, that's probably their most promising run of the night, the Parramatta team. But they couldn't finish it off. Hopkins showed plenty of speed, didn't he? And from here, you would have thought it was a try. But look at the Roosters' defence. Let's give that some credit. They got there in numbers once again. And just a simple lost ball at the end of it.
So you can hear the voice of Bill Harrigan telling Captain Brad Fiddler that the actions of one of his players out there will not be accepted anymore. Scrum goes down 10 metres away from the Roosters line. Let's go to the sideline, Andrew.
And Ray, with an 18-point lead, Ricky Stewart with the luxury of being able to rest a few troops for the final stages of this match. It's worth noting Adrian Morley played 68 straight minutes tonight before being replaced. And Chris Flannery replaced just a few minutes ago with a right shoulder injury that he nursed for much of the second half.
Here's Payton. The Canberra imports have done well. Payton and particularly Finch. Fittler spinning it back across the back of the ruck, and Minicello gets the ball away to Paya. Hegarty waiting. Now it's Robinson.
Just on that Canberra connection, Ray, I reckon he's got a lot to work with, Ricky Stewart. Just a couple of passes from both Payton and Finch that Stewart will want to get out of their game. And when he does, they'll be great buys, as Luke Bird does very well under pressure from Crocker.
So Hodges it is that shuts down Bert's intentions. Hodgson across and linking up with this man Violecki. Paul Green from dummy half. And this is Lee Hopkins. Bouncing away from players and then trying to straighten up as he came across the ground. And they've come up with the boot. So it's a penalty going to Parramatta. Fitzgibbon the offender. 5.5 minutes of the game remaining. And the result beyond doubt. 18-point margin. The Eels got back into it just in front of half-time. Here's Widders. Jamie Lyon. cross, and then they go back, and then it's Green, Dykes, and Dykes for Crouch, and Crouch bumps away and takes it towards the 20-metre line.
Let go, all hands off, all hands off.
Morris, Green, Witters, dummies, kicks, that's off the feet. Let's play on for Fittler. It's Payer again.
Hold now.
Henderson, Robinson.
Lean up now, lean up.
He was at Parramatta, Robinson. Came down, I fancy, at the same time as Jason Kalis.
Yeah, another player who was swapped between the clubs, David Solomona, couldn't make the starting 17. I don't think he's out injured. He played in First Division tonight, in fact, and we thought that he might have been able to have done well.
Here's Hodgson. Parramatta fullback, pulled down a few metres from halfway. They're very strong in defence, aren't they? The Premiers. Right across the park. The centres, they tackle just as strongly as the back rowers. Burt. Here's Green, kicking for his outside men on the right. But there's that bounce of the ball again, going Anthony Minicello's way. He's another outstanding contributor tonight. There's been some good performances. Fitzgibbon, we've talked about him as he strides and strains to get at 35 away from his own line. Young Henderson started the game as the dummy half.
Yeah, he's done well too. He's played plenty of time out there tonight. He filled in for, of course, Craig Wing, who's one of the best players in the game. As Fittler puts in a short kick, and Henderson did well.
Minicello pursues. Hodgson wins the race for the ball. Hodgson then tackled by Hodges. And here's Burt. Violecki. That's an example over there. Not so much that tackle, but Hodges has been very strong down that right side defence for the Roosters. The point I was making earlier, there's no easy way through them. Here's Dean Witters stepping. In fact, when you think about it, there's been quite a few interchanging between these two clubs. Dean was, of course, here at the Roosters before going to Parramatta. Changeover. And a couple of minutes on the clock. Fitzgibbon taking the pass that was badly delivered, and Crouch was able to put him away. Fittler from dummy half, unloading for Ricketson. And Hegarty sprinting away from dummy half, looking for a gap. And of course Hegarty and Minicello, they got the speed to accelerate through the narrowest of openings. Hodges tries to do something for his winger with a kick. The ball comes loose, and the winger has finished up with the ball. Ryan Cross, 10 metres away from the line. He's restarted the tackle count from Robinson to Fittler. Fittler back for Ricketson. Ricketson back for Fitzgibbon. Then he gets it away for Payer.
Let go. Step back.
Henderson has the ball knocked down by a player who wasn't marking up. And Fittler will probably just take the tap or instruct his man to take the tap. And they'll try and close this game down with a converted try.
In fact, Fittler was going to take the 2 points and then change his mind at the death.
Cusack. Henderson. Fittler. Decides to go for one of those famous runs of his. Henderson might score on debut. No. Pulled down 2 metres away. Payton flicks it out. Robinson challenges them. Fends away. Can he unload? No. 27 seconds to go. The Roosters with the game well and truly won. They want one more. Ricketson pulled down by Widders. He'll play it back for Hegarty. He has a go, and he's taken down by Jamie Lyon. The ball comes out, and Green dives on it for Parramatta.
Gee, just for a millisecond, I reckon young Henderson, as he got through that gap, was thinking, you beauty, try time. But he got pulled down just a metre out. And there's full time.
Full time is with us. The Sydney Roosters, the premiers from 2002, have beaten the Parramatta Eels 32 points to 14. 5 tries to 2. Fitzgibbon got 6 goals. Fittler playing his 285th game to join the 10 most capped players in the history of Premiership Rugby League. Big night for Brad. Big night for his team. He'd be happy with his personal effort. 32 points to 14. A break, and then Peter Sterling back with the Nutrigrain Iron Man of the match. That's on the other side of this.